afternoon, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Alex Marks.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Roy Canning.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
Welcome to the end of the second day of the Winter Spectacular. Now, before you all say the mics seem off and it seems echo, we know when we're playing a 6-player game, we're going to be using overhead mics so that we don't have all the different people wearing mics. We also don't have that many mics. So we know. So anyway, hopefully you hear enough to understand how to play this game called Feed the Kraken. For some reason, it was in my mind. It was
Feed
called
Wendy to the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Feed me to the Kraken. No.
I can see that.
Okay, so in this
It's beautifully
game,
painted. Why wouldn't you want
we
to
have a certain for a 6-player game, which is what we're playing. There's going to be 3 teams in the game. We got 3 sailors, we have 2 pirates, and we have 1 cult leader. So right now, everyone's secretly looking in your little bag. There's a chip. Don't show anyone else to see which you are. Okay. So mine is blue, which means, actually, let me make sure I saw mine right.
Make sure your white balance isn't off, that a red looks blue,
You know, I've been looking at video all day, so.
Okay.
All right, so now you know what your role is. So if you're like me, blue, you're one of the 3 good guys. And your goal is to make the ship go into one of these, into the sailor victory. You'll see these little blue arrows. As long as it follows those arrows, even if it goes over here, it could still come all the way over here. If the ship lands here, the sailors win. If the ship lands in the pirate victory, the pirates win. Pretty easy. And if the ship lands here, the cult leader wins. Now that seems pretty difficult for the cult leader, but also when we go into these spots, these 2 spots here, if the ship does go into those, we're going to be forced to throw someone overboard. And if we throw over the cult leader in a jerk move, I'm not going to... In a previous game, this may have happened. Then the cultist will win. Now, it is possible by the time we get there that there is more than 1 cultist because occasionally someone can join the cult team and help out the cult leader.
Okay.
On either side.
I feel like we're talking about football now, man. The Colts are going to win. Like,
The Colts. The Indianapolis Colts.
Now, I had everybody look at their chip here. So the next thing we're going to do is secretly look at your card here. And somebody has the pirate captain card, or the captain card. So you're the captain. Who is that person? No one says captain? Wendy, you didn't make this the captain?
I'm captain.
I was like, I definitely put a captain.
I'm captain.
Okay, you're the captain. So it says reveal this card at the start of the game. So you're the first captain. So here's your real card.
Okay, got it.
Your real secret card.
Yeah, this is... So these cards aren't too complicated. They're basically just a special ability that you can play once per game. And that's basically... It just tells you on the card what it does. There's a lot of them. We just have 6 random ones in the game. All right, so now we're going to have everyone close their eyes. This is the only time, this is one of only 2 times in the game we'll close their eyes. And I'm just going to say out loud, pirates, open your eyes. And the 2 pirates will know who each other is. That's it. All right? And then we'll close our eyes, and then we'll all open them again. Hopefully we don't mess this up because we get the chip
I have a question.
Yes.
Should you have access to the comments in this game? Because people are going to know who is who.
No, go ahead and close that down, I guess.
Goodbye, comments. Farewell.
That was...
I thought.
I mean, you can either hit the
Yeah,
X.
just do the X
Just hit
up
the X
there.
on the top.
All right, I'll hit the X.
No!
That's the only reason Z was here.
For the comments.
How am I supposed to win now?
All right, so everybody close your eyes. Now, just the pirates, open your eyes and look at each other. Now close your eyes. Now everybody open their eyes.
Hey, Tom, it might be best if you do that again.
Got it.
Okay.
Everyone close your eyes. Now just the pirates open their eyes. Now the pirates close their eyes. Now everybody opens their eyes. I keep my eyes closed now because I'm confused.
The problem is... Oh, never mind.
Now I'm even more confused. Do we need to hand the chips back out again?
Can I ask a question, just as somebody who's not in this game?
Yes.
How many pirates should there be in this?
2.
2.
I think you did something wrong.
But maybe people
not,
are very
maybe not.
sneaky with their eyes
maybe
opening.
maybe I'm seeing something wrong. I was looking to see who the pirates are, and I think maybe the issue's mine. I don't know.
That would be totally me. This is my 5th game today.
Wait.
Did you misread your color?
Yes,
Everyone throw your bags.
Because, like, I know for a fact that Tom
This is
wasn't a
how you
pirate
won
because
last
he
time
didn't
because you
catch it.
cheated, right?
And I thought that too. I thought the
I was
fact
like,
that
dang it, the
when-
fact that Mike called it
That's
out,
right.
I knew Tom wasn't a pirate. So it's
I was
like,
really
dang it.
like, what a moron. Who's not opened their eyes?
It's you!
I peeked again. I'm like, all right, I'm going to look at the shape of
I'm
the
so
coin
sad.
now.
I was
If
the
your
cult
token,
leader.
if your token
was
is
the good
red, you open your eyes.
Well, actually, the tokens are not. When I opened mine, I thought it was a pirate, and then I thought, wait a minute, was that yellow? Because in the bags, you know what? No excuse. You
Shut up.
Yeah.
Well,
look
this
on the
one.
He's
other
going
pirate's
overboard.
face.
I'm really.
He's
Yes,
going
I'm being
overboard.
thrown over.
What would we do if Mike wasn't here?
I don't know. It would have been a very different game.
It would have been a very
Alright.
different game.
he would have won as the good guys. Like yes. Oh
The
no.
blind pirate.
Okay, all right.
Can we try this again?
Please.
Uh-huh.
All right, everyone, close your eyes. Only the pirates open their eyes. Pirates close their eyes. Everyone open their eyes.
You know,
I'm going to
it's a-
check
it's-
again.
I checked
It's a
four
fourth
times.
time's the
charm. I did.
Wait, did you open your eyes?
All right, I need you to take both those.
Would you like to
I'd
know?
like to know.
Did you play this before?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Those both go to the captain.
In the cop.
There you go, Cap.
I'm the
My
captain
captain.
So
now.
here's how each round of the game goes. Because what we're going to do each round is the ship is going to move following one of those 3 arrows. Sometimes, depending where you are, 2 arrows will go to the same spot. And so the captain is going to pick a first mate and a navigator. He can give these to anybody, but he cannot give it to somebody who has the off duty, which is going to go to the navigator. So the same person can't be the navigator each round. When that happens, we're going to open this little
What
case
is it?
here.
Navigator and what?
The first mate.
First mate.
So when that happens, the captain's going to draw 2 cards from his deck. You pre-made a deck?
Yeah, I pulled out
Okay.
the.
So there's the 2 cards will go to the captain, and 2 cards will go to the first mate. They're both going to secretly look at these cards, and they're going to pick one. One of them is going to be thrown into the deep sea face down that no one will see from each player. That leaves 2 cards. We then, if you can hand me the captain's logbook, the other 2 cards are placed in here, like Leslie, and then this is taken and it's shaken up like that and given to the navigator. The navigator will open this, take the 2 cards, and pick one, get rid of the other, and that's the one that we're going to follow. So it's a 2-step process. And then the navigator will be like, well, I had 2 red, so that's the direction we had to go, or whatever lies they'll spew out of their mouth. So once this is shown, 3 things are going to happen. And I know there's a step I skipped, but we'll come back to that. Once this is shown, we're going to follow that arrow. If there is something on that spot, which happens only in this game, only a couple times, there's these. When you go in here, the captain will have a chance to look at somebody's chip. We're on the long side of the board, aren't we?
No. Oh.
Yes.
Yes,
We
we
are.
are. We're going to flip the board to
I'm
the
sorry.
not long side.
I'd
I
like
must
a new
have flipped
chip.
it when I was.
There we go. A
That's what I
much shorter side.
Give me my chip.
You hate your teammate?
Okay.
Teammates, I don't have any.
The flogging symbols were on. I'm like, they're only in the long
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, if the ship lands here, something will happen.
Okay.
But then also, something on the card will happen, possibly.
Oh.
Where did the
So in
third
this
one?
case, the captain gets drunk.
Where'd the third one go?
It's in front
It's
of
right
you.
there.
It's right
You
here.
stole it, did it?
I'm a
You
loop.
stole it,
If
did
there's
it?
anything y'all are learning about this game is we are totally not paying attention.
It's only halfway through the week.
So we move the ship. If there's something on the board, we activate that. For example, the ship goes here, we're going to throw someone overboard. And then we do whatever the card might say. For example, this one here means that the captain gets drunk, and so the captain token's going to pass.
Got it.
Now, when the captain picks the navigator and the first mate, we all might not like that choice. Because what a terrible captain. You're not even wearing a captain's hat.
Yeah, Alex. Well, at least he's wearing
well,
a hat.
This is the hat side of the table.
It really is.
It is.
How does that feel over there, hatless?
We love our own hair.
That
All
sounds
natural.
very
that's
insulting.
not
Wow.
Right?
Okay, no.
Anyway,
Low
once he
blow,
picks those
Wendy.
2, we have the
Low blow.
opportunity. We have the opportunity to stage a mutiny. So everybody will put out their fists, and You can reveal guns if you want. Everyone starts with 3 guns. More guns might come out over the course of the game. But if there are 3 or more guns total in everyone's hand, the guns will be discarded and a mutiny happens. And whoever basically put in the most guns is the captain now. If there's a tie, there's a little thing in here where the captain kind of basically will pick who the new captain is.
Okay.
And then that captain will pick a first mate and navigator, and there could be another mutiny. But in this game, we only each start with 3 guns. There's not going to be a lot of mutinies.
Okay.
You have to do a mutiny at the right time.
Like right now.
Okay, I'm going to quick talk about the symbols on these cards because the navigator's going to need to know what each of them does. Sorry, if we can turn off blue screen just for a moment, Mike, so that I don't...
All right.
Well,
Yeah,
you know
you're
what?
right.
No, you know what? Leave it there. I'll just show what the symbols do.
Ooh.
So if we get this one, the current captain loses their position,
They're
and it just
crunk.
goes clockwise. They're crunk. If it's mermaid, the captain picks a player. They look at the last 3 navigation cards that were discarded, and you can talk about what you've seen. Telescope, they will look at the top navigation card, and you can put on the top or bottom. Armed, the navigator gets a gun. Disarmed, the navigator loses a gun. And cult uprising, we will reveal a cult ritual card. There are 5 of these, and I think 3 of them allow... I was about to say me, but I was cult leader last game, not this game. Allow the cult leaders to pick a new cult person to join them. And you are now part of the cult, even whether you're pirate or not a pirate.
Great.
Who votes that Tom got cultist twice?
We just need to isolate Z's face for this entire thing.
Okay, let's do it.
I appreciate your faux enthusiasm. All right. Okay. I'll be shuffling these cards here, but meanwhile, Alex, you're the captain, so you're going to be picking a navigator and a first mate.
Alrighty.
So we mutiny after he picks? Is that how it works?
It's a possible
Hypothetically.
and yes.
Okay.
Alright, Roy, you're gonna be my captain. You're the captain now.
No, you're the
I
captain.
mean,
Navigator.
you're the navigator.
The
I'm a
navigator.
navigator now.
And Z, you can be the little skipper.
Are you hoarding arms?
Yeah, I had a lot of weapons. I found some weapons below deck in the belly of the ship.
I thought we were carrying moonshine, not
Okay, so
weapons.
now we're going to decide if we approve of that. I don't see why not. How are we supposed to know who?
Wait, so how does it work?
If you don't put guns out, you're fine with this. If there's
Wait,
guns
does
total,
Alex get a
there's
choice
mutiny.
too? As far as
Yep.
me doing this.
It was his choice. I mean, that could be a thing.
Go ahead.
Ready? All right, we accept those choices. So, from here, I'm going to just put this over here because you guys are near it. So, you're each going to draw, you're going to draw 2, and you're going to draw 2, and you're going to put 1, you're going to discard 1 into the deep
But the
sea.
navigator doesn't do anything?
and put the other in the
navigator
box.
has to pick one of
Deep
those to do.
sea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Box.
this shows you what the icons do in the box.
So I picked one of
Remember.
those to actually happen.
Yep.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
One there, and that one goes.
Blue, deep sea.
Make sure they're not
And
on top
close
of
the
each
box.
other at all. So that
If they're both red, we're throwing them all overboard.
All right, Roy.
Okay, so I go in here and do this, and I look
And
at
you'll
them.
do the same thing. You'll secretly put 1 in the blue, and the other one gets revealed. Now, the one that gets revealed is going to be placed in front of the captain because we're going to remember, face up, we're going to remember what the captain did.
Come on,
It's
Captain!
on you.
Alright,
I approve.
we're going to the
Woohoo.
east.
Ooh.
Blue way, best way.
Good. Good. We're
Howard,
good
it does
so
mean
far.
you lose a gun, Roy.
I'm fine with that. I mean, we did the job.
We did it.
That is good. That's a good start.
That's
I
good.
think we're all happy with that.
I like
You're
it.
all
Yep.
happy.
No, that's not. That's no. The way if I understood the game, we're not all happy with
You
that.
picked the same card, Z,
Well, we're all acting
for it
happy.
to
Well,
happen.
you and I are happy.
Okay, I understand.
Z,
I am happy with
Fellow
that.
pirate.
Z, if you were happy, then why'd you pick the same card to put in the box?
Yes, we both played the same thing. Yes, that's my card.
All right. That was round 1. Very easy. However, Roy, you're now off
I can't
duty.
be this. I'm off duty. I'm going to take a nap. But I did my job. I put us towards landing in the correct port, not this scurvy drunken port. The way of good, not the way of evil. We're not going to Pleasure Island. We're going over here to Hard Work and Dedication Island.
And we have oranges, right?
We're the Hard Work and Dedication Island.
That's called Pleasure Island?
This is family.
No, not Pleasure. Hard Work and Dedication Island.
Pinocchio? I'll go to that island.
You're going to turn into a
I just leave
donkey
before the-
by the end of
Wait, you never
this.
saw
I
Is it
swear.
like
Toilet-
Toyland
Has
over
no
there?
one seen... Oh my word.
Having the new one?
Not the new one. That new one's trash.
I didn't like
The new one has a
Pinocchio's.
twist.
Tortuga is full of beautiful women over here. We can have day jobs
Again, all I know from
work
Pinocchio
hard.
is Kingdom Hearts.
He's a
No,
part
no,
the
no.
whole time.
That's the way of evil, Tom.
And then at the
Don't go
end-
that way.
God.
He wants to be a carpenter.
Yeah.
All right, who are you picking as your first main navigator?
Our
Oh, I
pirates.
go again.
You can pick Z
Okay.
because he's still on duty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
If you trust him.
Z.
Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. I'll be the captain.
I do want to
All
say Z did a good job.
But it's not a captain thing, though. Where's the
Oh, yeah.
captain thing?
No,
you
he's not
can't
giving
make him
captain. He can do navigator or lieutenant.
Oh, he
Yeah.
stays captain until we all...
Until we mutiny him.
Or until he gets crunk.
Got it. What was the
Alright.
one on that card, by the way? What did that mean?
Bro,
That made me lost
a
music gun.
token.
That's...
Yeah,
got
maybe
it.
I have one
Okay,
less gun
got it.
now.
All right.
And if you are the navigator and forget, they're all listed in the lid of that box.
Got it.
Okay, so now Z is going to be the navigator.
Oh,
Done.
I'm sorry.
I didn't read it. I just saw blue. Also, I
Wendy
didn't have a choice.
can be the skipper.
Trust in Wendy.
You know what I don't trust? And I'm not
It's
metagaming at all. But I remember the last game.
I know.
I'm okay with this because of the navigator position. I don't know about Wendy.
Okay, all
Well,
right.
clearly you trust me enough not to.
Well, I trust. I trust
So draw
that
two.
Firearms.
Alex
Draw two.
and Z both did good.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, if
Therefore.
Alex puts in at least one good one, and you put in a bad one, then Z might also pick the good one.
But it's also possible that they drew two of the same card. They
It's also
did.
I'm
possible you're a
hoping so.
traitor and you're a Kraken lover.
I'm hoping so.
Whoa!
But
Okay,
there's,
all right.
I used to
there's,
be the
there's no,
cultist.
there's no information
Kraken.
else to glean. All I'm saying is if this
the
goes bad, we have to
cultist.
blame
That's
Wendy.
rough.
I don't know where Roy's getting to blame Wendy from, but I accept it.
I said blame Wendy before the game started, so she painted these too good. You know she's got it. She's
Yeah,
hiding
the
something.
I like
Yes,
have
yes,
dreams
blame
of
Wendy.
Kraken
Shake out like
at
Salt
night.
Shaker.
They actually do look great, Wendy.
Dude.
Thank you.
They look amazing.
They do. What are we talking about?
The paint job.
Yeah,
Did you show this off?
What's up, y'all?
all that contrast.
Did you show
like,
this off?
Seriously, guys?
really brings it out.
This is the second
Why?
day I've looked like that every
I don't
day.
trust
Yeah.
either one of you.
Yeah, show the ship.
It was a rough hand.
I mean, the blue you're not
Can
gonna
I
be
say
able to
whatever
see.
I want?
We really need to. Yes,
Can
you
I say whatever I want?
Yeah, you can. You can lie, tell
They
truth.
look
These are
terrible
both the
on
same
screen.
card. They're actually identical. Even the symbol in the corner is the same.
Okay.
Interesting.
He's pulling exactly what I
So
pulled last time.
either no one's going out of their way to be like, well, my cards were bad.
Nice.
Yeah, I picked it.
You've had
Yeah.
ample time.
Yeah, bad
Okay.
cards. I did say my cards were bad.
I'll go and put it back.
You did? When was that? Before or after you became a Kraken lover? Ooh. Am I flipping this?
Fired.
He goes in front of the captain.
All right.
Ooh.
So go straight.
Kraken.
There you go.
Kraken.
All right.
Okay, so it's going straight.
What
Okay,
does
so
that
actually
mean?
this is not too bad.
No.
Okay.
So now we get a
So
search.
first,
Captain must
search.
reveal a ritual.
Is that the card you put in?
Yeah, but before the captain reveals a ritual card, we land on a search token.
Was
The
it?
captain is going to give that search
then
token.
You
someone-
should probably
lying.
not lie about that, seeing as to how I saw both. but
Somebody is
yeah,
lying.
I guess you're lying.
Lying all the time.
Okay, so you're going to give that to
You're
another
out.
player, and then they're going to give you their bag for you to look at.
So they're gonna give this to.
You give that to someone else for a secret inspection. Everyone else will close their eyes, so you can pull it out and look at it.
All right. I'm gonna give
Are we
that
closing
to
our
you
eyes?
for a
What?
secret
Because he's going to look
inspection.
at Joey's bag
Because he's
Okay,
the coldest
and see what
leader.
it is. Everyone else
Yeah.
close your eyes, so you're done.
Okay.
And then Alex can tell the truth or lie about what's in that
Alright,
thing.
What's in the bag, Alex?
What's in the bag?
Well, Joey messed up for us. You guys can open your eyes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Joey messed up for us on the first attempt at this.
Yeah.
We should not trust him at all. He is the cultist.
I trust him fully now.
Thank you.
Wait, you're the coldest
you.
again?
I am not
He-
the cultist again.
Again?
He is.
Trust you implicitly.
All right, so what is it? So
Well, that
what's
keeps
the
you from
number?
getting thrown overboard.
You know
right?
what? You know what? I see some. I
What's
see
the
some
symbol?
tentacles coming up
That
out of
symbol
that
means-
collar there.
You
The
can
captain
trust
must
me.
reveal a
yeah,
cult
not with that
ritual
face.
card. Isn't that what we just
no,
did?
At all.
No,
No.
we did the search token on the board. That's only going to happen once. It won't happen again.
Any one of them, or just
Yes.
All right.
What does that do?
Oh, brother.
I think that means we get a.
Is there another cultist now?
There's
Yeah.
going to be another cultist. So
That
here,
was fast.
Maybe it is Joey now.
Why could that change everyone? All right, guys. You know what?
All right,
Dang.
You're gonna
so
feel really bad.
basically, here is how this is going to work. Everyone is convertible, so the only person who is not convertible
I'd like to be
is
a coop
you,
as well.
because you've been searched.
Alex.
Alex looked at you, so he is not allowed to be converted by the cult leader.
Okay.
Everyone's going to put out their fist, and the cult leader, I'm going to say, cult leader, open your eyes. They're going to basically just touch someone, and then that person's now a cultist instead of a sailor or a pirate.
But like,
that-
oh, I got it. You have to be touchable, like here.
Yeah,
okay.
and then they're going to open their eyes and look at their new master briefly,
Nice.
and then close your eyes, and we're back to normal.
Got it.
I do not like that there is another cultist. this
So you
fast
said the
in game.
cultist.
You
is-
said something
the
about
cultist is
Joey
gonna-
though.
That's really bad.
He can't.
So wait, if
He's not putting out his
Nobody
fist.
can touch
if
me.
either of them get thrown overboard, the cultists win?
No, just the cult leader.
Just the
How?
The leader wins. So if the cultist gets thrown overboard,
That's
They're
fine.
fine. It's fine.
if the cultist gets the cult leader thrown overboard,
Then the cultist wins.
okay.
Oh crap.
Gross.
Why is his hand not in?
Because his
He's
thing was
not
just
allowed to
searched,
be.
he's immune to this for whatever reason.
What if he's the cultist?
Then he's gonna reach over
He
and
can
touch
still
one of
touch
us.
someone's hand.
Oh.
He just can't be touched. He can't be a cult
But we'll
follower.
hear him moving. He's kind of old. He'll go.
So-
"Ah!"
I'm tapping someone.
Oh wait, I should do it.
Time?
Oh,
wait.
boom! Yes.
Nope.
That makes a lot of sense.
Look at that!
I actually already kind of figured, but it's fine.
All right, so put him out. Okay, here we go.
Close
All
your
right.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so first of all, now the cult leader taps someone's hand, and then that person's going to open their eyes and look at the new cult leader. Now they'll close their eyes, and now we're done. And now there's another cultist.
Who'd you tap?
No one.
That's not the right answer. You're supposed to say,
No, he
I didn't
didn't
tap
tap
anybody.
me.
He did say that, but
All right, good. What's happening now?
All right. Well, we do the same thing again. You're still the captain. No, we got to pick new navigator.
How many?
You can't pick
Okay.
Z. Z's on break.
So 3 guns will mutiny. Right.
Okay.
Wendy loading up over there.
When do I get to play one of these cards here, Tom?
All right, you're gonna be the navigator.
It tells you when you can play. You can play it once per time. It should tell you on it when to play it.
Oh, you took it away?
I say we're fine as long as we don't throw him overboard, right?
Tom, you can be the
I'm mutant.
Skippy.
I'm doing this. Kleptomaniac.
Wait.
Choose a player.
I got us blue, and you're not gonna let me
Steal one gun
pick
from my
again?
player supply and add it to yours.
Who?
Tom, I like one of yours.
Alex.
This is a precious
I got us blue towards
My
the
great
winning from the
granddad gave me that
sailors.
gun.
So if you're a sailor, you
Why'd you
should
give
have
that
given it
one
back
up?
to
You should have
me.
given up one of the plain ones that you had. Not
Oh,
your
yeah, good
grandpappy's
point.
one.
Dummy.
My grandpappy was unlucky.
It was all rusty. It didn't work anyways, right?
I don't get it. What are we doing?
We're mutiny.
Oh, really?
Oh, are we
my eyes.
Are we
I'm putting
meeting?
a
It's
bet
this decision.
in.
What
Something.
happened? Oh, this decision?
I think this is great.
Oh, this is a terrible idea, but I don't really care this round.
Only
Ooh.
2.
No, guys,
so
not enough,
close.
not enough. I don't think you lose
I
them.
trust
don't think
Wendy
you lose them.
implicitly.
Yes.
I don't think
We
you
on the
lose them
same
unless a
team.
mutiny happens.
I
Let me
got
look.
it. I'll take her gun.
You're just gonna borrow it
What happens to
from
the
supply.
gun?
They go back to supply.
They do.
Right?
Lose them?
They go the
Hold
cultists. So
on,
give
man.
them
I'm
out.
gonna
Oh, did we
reveal
just
the
aim them but
guns. We
didn't
see if
fire?
it's
Is this
mutiny,
what
if it's
happened?
successful.
I am not close.
Fully
Resolving a
fully,
mutiny.
loaded.
Whoever has most guns, blah, blah, blah. If there is no mutiny, everyone gets their guns back, yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, hey.
All right.
Sweet.
But we'll
I mean-
remember you tried. Half-heartedly. He was like, I don't like this.
So what all
I
happens?
like an E for effort.
What all
Yeah,
happens in a
good.
mutiny? Then the tied people, you choose one of them to be.
Whoever has the most guns will be captain. If there's a tie, the captain kind of decides, and I'll
Oh.
pull that out and look at it again.
All right.
All right, give me 2 cards here.
There you go. This is a
You're a
problem.
navigator. We'll get to you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You'll get one from the 2 that they give you.
You
All
get
right.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow,
my
okay.
God, sorry.
All right.
Bad options all around.
Wait, I'm not laughing hard enough. I don't trust you at all, Tom.
I don't. You took my gun.
Can I see your baggie?
You could see it. You can't touch it.
Can I look within it?
You may not. Look within my heart.
I look with my eyes, not with my hands.
Yeah, not good options. All right.
All right,
That's what they all said.
That's what
trash.
Z said last
Everyone has
time.
said that every time.
Never good options.
Do you think Joey has nervous laughter when he lies?
I always have nervous laughter. All right, ready?
Yeah.
They were no good option, just so everyone knows.
I don't
All right,
believe
so the
you.
pirate goes here, straight down the middle. Not so bad yet, but the good news about this is you're drunk. I'm the captain.
It just goes to you?
It goes clockwise.
Oh, okay.
This goes.
Hey, you don't want me to be captain?
Oh, this goes in
Pull out
front
a
of
gun.
you. This goes in front of you.
Yep.
Three
Oh,
rounds as captain was too much for you. So you,
Run as a captain.
All right, Roy. I feel like
I had to run
Roy.
too hard.
I feel like Roy is a good. I'll make you navigator.
Okay,
I
thank
feel
you.
like you're a good egg.
Thank you for the vote.
Good
of
egg.
confidence.
Good egg.
You I don't trust.
You trust me.
Are we talking in-game or out-of-game? No one. Well, Z's not even arguing for it, so I'll get the one D.
Yes. I just like the badge.
Also, you're off duty, so
pretty.
Z, you're,
Oh,
you're back
yeah.
on.
I'll say Z,
Oh,
if
yeah.
we're on the same team,
I'd like that.
don't wreck us.
You don't get it now. You didn't speak up early enough.
But I was
Alright.
off duty. I was
Fine.
sleeping.
All right, is there a mutiny here? Let's put out our hands and see. Realize we're possible 3 turns from the game being out. It's not a very long
And
game.
in the best way possible, yes. I get that.
Reveal.
In Hard Work Island. Hard Work Island. Let's
Thank
go.
Thank
Hard
you
work,
for
Island.
trusting in my choices.
We don't want to be involved in this debauchery over here, and we definitely don't want to be eaten by that thing.
I
You
just-
keep making it sound better, Roy. It's really confusing.
Listen, they might be having fun, but you know when they're not going to be having fun?
Wait, who's the navigator?
In the
Roy?
afterlife.
I want the anti-scurvy oranges that are in the sailor side. Ooh. Okay.
Green screen.
Sorry, I know. I actually was very aware of that, but it's hard to.
Give me something
legitimately.
good. Let's
I guess we're
go.
both bad
All
options.
blue.
Yeah,
All
bad
blue.
options.
Wendy,
Great options right now.
they can't be all bad options
Okay,
every
Those
time.
ones
Roy?
were
No,
both
they
bad.
can't
Roy,
be all
For
bad.
my
me,
option
they
was
can be.
bad and terrible. Okay, not bad. Okay and terrible.
Here's
So
the
pick-
problem.
I put the okay one in there.
Mine was
I don't
bad
trust
bad.
either of you guys if you're not going to Hard Work Island.
Mine was bad to the bone.
No,
Hard work
Roy.
island.
bad.
Also depends on which team you're on.
I feel like we just
suck.
I feel like
They can't all suck.
I feel like we just came from Hard Work Island. Why should we go to another one?
Yeah.
But we'll go. We'll
Tom,
go.
you're not
because you
convincing
want-
us.
Fantasy
Go, 'cause
Island.
that's what you
Definitely
want.
doing this, but I think this is what Tom wants. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is what Tom wants.
I don't know what I want. No, this is not bad, Roy. This is the card I put in because it's still better than going red.
I understand.
I'd rather be yellow than dead.
Which card did you put in?
I put in the one where you get to reveal somebody.
What? I didn't even read the special.
Oh, it says in front of me.
That one.
But what color was it, Wendy?
It
Oh, what
was
is that?
bad. To the
Guns?
bone. 'Cause
We
it
get
goes
more
over.
I don't
guns?
trust Wendy.
Do we get guns?
Someone's
Give me.
got-
Let me go to bed. Give me my bed
Get
card.
some guns real
Off
quick,
night.
Tom.
I'm going off duty.
Good night.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna put 3 guns here in the middle of the table.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna play spoons.
The cult leader is gonna distribute those guns. Everyone's just gonna put their hand out like this, and then the cult leader is gonna open their eyes and put the guns in the hands of up to 3 players.
Okay.
Yeah, but we get to see.
So what's everybody
I'm
got
not
right
talking
now?
about
Because we
this.
get to
I'm just
know,
letting
right? Who they went to.
Do we open our eyes if someone puts a gun in our hand?
Can I watch the cold letter distribute them?
Are these secret?
No!
So Alex,
No!
who are you giving them to?
I'm assuming that once
I'm
you
not
get it,
giving
you can
them
close your
anymore.
hands, so we won't know who got. Well, we're gonna see who gets the guns. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna see who gets
I'm
the
very
guns.
I
You
saw
have to-
guns.
you have to say
I-
you got some
I
guns.
highly
to
doubt that.
distribute them.
Let me see if the cult leader can give them to themselves.
Oh, come on, Tom.
Yes, you can. All right, so you're.
Wow, that's weird.
Let's put them out.
All right.
With hands wide open.
You put yours out too.
I don't know the rest of those.
Well, he has
All
to
right,
grab
let's-
the guns.
Let me.
Okay.
You know what? We know the ship's here in the middle. I'm gonna move this so that there's room for everyone to get
I don't
down
even know
there.
what you're saying.
They'll just keep their eyes
All right.
closed
Okay,
as
ready?
they put the guns.
Now the cult leader. Now do your thing. Put the guns out. Give them to the
Joey,
people.
you can't
Give
touch
my
arm. You know
guns.
what I'm doing. Or not doing. Or anything.
Where are my guns?
All right.
Give me some
I'm assuming the
guns.
cult leader's done. Everyone open your
Alex,
eyes.
are you done?
Bang.
That's interesting.
Thank you, cult leader.
Thank you.
I know exactly what's going on.
Well, it's
I know
easier when you
everything.
open your eyes.
Yeah. We have a problem, guys. We're really close to these tentacles.
Okay, so if we
And-
hit a tentacle, we're gonna throw someone overboard at that point.
See. Wait, we have 3 good.
Are you
No, we don't
nominating me
have.
to
we don't
die,
have no,
or-
we don't have 3 good guys anymore. I think Tom was good, and he
Okay.
got turned into the bad guy.
Got it.
Yes to the first part, no to the second.
I don't believe you for a second. I think these two are our pirates. I think we're the good guys. But the problem is, we're very close to these tentacles, so we need to make sure not to throw Alex overboard. We should probably just throw Joey overboard. 'Cause
Okay,
he's Joey.
there's one.
I do not like that idea at all. It's all up until I'm thrown overboard.
Okay, so
I'm a good
I do
guy.
want to mention a rule that's very rarely used, but could happen.
I like how Roy's reading.
If
me.
you're the navigator,
It's not like I'm
This
being
is
game.
cold
What
red.
else are you supposed to do?
by the way, guys, if you're navigator and you both the cards you get are so horrible you don't wish to do them, you can jump overboard, killing yourself out of the game to not pick either card. You'll still win with your team.
I would have done that first round.
You still have to sit here and play the game.
Yeah, but I could have been dead.
Wait. If we're on the same team,
That's
then
Can
called-
the
you're
cult
gonna...
leader do that?
That's called-
You don't want to go to Hard Work Island that bad?
I'm on your team. I want
That's
to
called the
Wait, didn't your very
emergency.
first turn you move blue?
No, the second time I think when I got a yellow card and a yellow card, and you were like, "Yeah, I gave you a yellow card," and this guy's like, "No, that wasn't me." I'm like, "Why would you lie? I saw them both." But I guess we can again assume I'm lying.
Yeah, no one knows but you.
All
I
right.
mean, that's
Anyway,
weird.
if
It
we
was
hit
weird.
these Kraken spots here, feeding the Kraken, the captain is going to basically pick someone and throw them overboard. And the captain can't pick themselves.
Oh, Captain has soul say.
They do.
And if
This
the
is
person
really
jumps
bad.
overboard, like if the cultist just jumps overboard.
No, you cannot do that.
Okay, you can't
If the
do that. All
cultist or the cult leader, they're like, I'm
they
navigator.
want to
and
dive.
nah.
They want somebody to do it to them
Okay, that's the
for some reason.
This is not good.
Let's do it.
All
I'm
right.
ready to jump.
Am I still captain?
Coach. Put me in, coach. I'm jumping.
I don't know if I want to make you navigator, actually, because of your
This
threats.
stays in front of you.
Oh, it does stay in
Yeah,
front of me. May I have the lieutenant navigator? Who's on duty? Who's off duty?
I'm off duty. I
Roy's
can't
off
do
duty.
this.
I'm ready to go.
I would give it to you, Roy.
Put me in,
I
coach.
trust you. Despite your lack of trust for me.
I mean, I did
what?
trust you
That
in the
deserves
first
a
round of
gun.
the game, Tom. Tom, the first round of the
There you
game, we were here. But then after that switch, we're not there anymore.
This is
So
mine now.
Is that like butterscotches? Or you?
Wendy, I'm going to make you the navigator.
Ooh.
And I'm
Give
going to
me
make
the gun
you
back,
first
man.
mate.
Look at the
God.
spinny thing.
that
Okay.
is really bad for us.
If you don't agree, then now it's time to
Who
meet
did you
me.
put in, Tom? Who's
Okay.
in?
Put in
These
your
two?
guns.
problem.
First mate.
Yes.
Wendy's
Going
going
to
to push us to
Kraken.
red, which also helps them go into there. I would rather us be pushed to blue and go here or go to this space. So it's
I
just gonna
won't
wreck
give
us.
Wendy a red card.
I don't know that you always have that choice.
That's true. But there's been so many, both of these
But it's
choices are
good for
bad.
you guys to go either way, so it's fine. Okay, fine.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. Come
Yeah.
on. Don't punk.
Reveal.
Punk.
Oh.
Yeah, mutiny.
All right, I've been
That's
mutinying
what
against Roy as the captain.
I'm the captain now.
You're the
Yeah,
captain
yeah.
All
now.
right. Then you pick your navigator.
Correct.
The problem
Good
is,
so far.
Like you trust Z and only Z.
I'll take both.
you realize that if one of the regular people happened, then
How do you know it wasn't a pirate that it happened to?
Or Z could be.
I don't.
The
I'm
cultist
just
now.
playing off
I
of
can
what
be
people are
whatever I
doing.
want to
Definitely messed
be.
up on early
My
problem is
mom
I don't
said
definitely
it.
the cultist.
Do I give
When
this to a
I grow
cultist?
up,
I don't like
I
to
can
come
do
back to
whatever.
that.
Really?
I should give this to-
Aw, that's so sweet.
I should give this to a cultist
Except-
as opposed to a pirate.
You wanted to be a
think. So I'm gonna
cultist
give
when
it
you
to Tom.
when you grew up?
I wanted to jump
Wait, you
in the
think he's the
ocean.
cultist?
What do you think the cult leader is?
Wait,
And if you
okay,
didn't get
let's do it.
turned and you are good and you're trying to go to Hard Work Island with me, that's good also.
You know what? You keep making it sound terrible. I want to be on your team.
You don't like hard work?
I do really, but still. All right,
Okay,
give me
what-
give us cards.
This is the bad card. Which cards do we
This is
take
mine.
it from?
This is mine.
The red
Don't touch
one.
it, cultist.
So if we run
just
out,
know I trust
which
nobody.
I'm not a cultist.
Yeah.
We will.
That's what they are.
Man, there's so many blue ones that didn't get put in
that's
this
weird.
box.
There should have been an even number. But go ahead and shuffle those and put them in here.
No,
and
no, no.
we'll-
It's at 19.
Okay, go ahead and shuffle those, put them in here, and we'll draw two more. So who's the captain? Roy.
Man, people
You
are
get the top two. I get this,
actively
and then the
choosing
top
not
of
to
that.
put the blue ones in there. Ugh.
That's true.
Okay.
There's been a lot of wickedness
I
going
think
around
that's
here.
fine.
Let me get some stuff. Put it in there.
Was Z the one picking?
Z
I'm not
is going to be
picking,
picking
Z's
out
not
things. Oh, I get to pick one of these.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm getting a good card. A good card.
Good. Well, I'm not, so if you pick the good card, if you pick the good card, then that would be great. Also, this has one of those things that I don't like where it forces the good people to do bad things, so it makes it really easy for the bad people to hide.
The good people
Hard Work Island is good people.
Eye of the beholder.
to do bad things.
If you pick my card, then you're dead to me, and I'm not gonna give you. Well, I can't give you Navigator next turn anyway. Oh, dang it! I shouldn't have given Tomlin. I shouldn't have given the navigator this turn. I should have done it next turn.
Here we go.
There's gonna be a mutiny anyway.
It's that one.
All right.
Where's this go?
Good.
Yeah,
Oranges!
Where's this one go?
In the deep
Want
sea.
oranges.
Deep.
I can't
ocean.
And that goes in front of Roy. So the ship goes into the Kraken. All right. Bad news for someone, except for Roy.
When do we get to choose who we throw?
So Roy, you're gonna Roy, you're gonna pick another player and you're gonna put this in front of them, and that person's eliminated from the game, but they can't speak anymore or reveal their faction unless they're explaining rules they're allowed to speak, just in case. Okay?
Are you gonna die, Tom?
Well, I don't know.
No, why?
Roy's been going after me hard a lot.
No, I can't make Tom die.
He's been trying to
okay,
murder
so
me all
listen.
game.
If you think I'm not the cult leader, it's okay to throw me overboard. Only the cult leader will lose the game.
I got that, but
The
still.
cult leader will lose if he goes over.
No, if the cult leader gets thrown, if Roy picks the cult leader right now, Colts win.
Got it.
Not the Indianapolis
Colts win.
Colts, because no one cares about them.
Colts win.
Wendy picked a yellow card at the beginning, which makes me not want to throw her overboard.
Because
just
I
'cause it
had
was
bad
yellow.
and
I
worse.
know, that's fine. I'm just saying.
And
I
then
have
I
the
had
options.
bad and bad.
So then throws me overboard.
Not like where it's going.
Because that's
You have
funny.
no allies left if you do that.
I know, you're my own.
So you're throwing Joey overboard?
I'm voting to throw Joey overboard.
Bye, Joey.
All right,
you guys
barely
will
Now,
play.
he doesn't reveal anything unless he's the cult leader, in which case I was about to say the Colts would win.
Are you the cult leader?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I know, I
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I was for sure.
Oh my god!
What are you doing?
So what happened is he was like I thought he was a cult leader. Then tap my head, I'm like, so I look over to see it's him, but it's him. I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Just shakes his head.
Why didn't you? So you're actually good?
Nah, yeah, I was good.
I
You never
wasn't lying
put
the
any
whole
argument
time.
or did anything good for
I
us.
started as a pirate. Me and
The
Wendy were
very first
pirates.
card was great.
Okay.
And then I had 2 yellows to choose from.
Well, you got
The
converted,
second.
Tom, right?
I did get converted, yes.
Okay, so the two
I'm not
yellows,
really
but
good
then
at
you
the
lied
poker
about
thing,
the two
so you
yellows.
should have picked me, really.
I was trying to, but Z's hand is too far away.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Steve.
sorry.
I'm sorry, Roy.
See, I'm really sorry. I ruined that for us.
No, that's fine. I didn't think it was
I'm
Joey
sorry.
either.
You know, in both games, I was a
put the
pirate, and my
comments back
pirate
in, Mike.
companion became a cultist. Both games.
Mike, you can put the comments back on now.
You can never trust it.
It's up under a window.
Window.
All for
I thought
one.
Wendy could feel me like lean over, so I'm like, oh shit.
Man.
I was this close.
Oh man.
All right, so
You should have just picked me then.
that's
I
Feed the
really want to be a
Kraken.
cultist in this
You can
game.
play a longer
really
game
felt
than
like
what
you
we
were
just
a
did.
pirate. I
I
should've
like
done
the
that
shorter
on
game
the
better
side,
because it's
yeah.
kind of snappy and quick. Had we not thrown overboard, though, the good sailors were pretty close.
Really close.
They just had to get a blue one in
So
there.
you three were good?
I know. It would have been
Us
nice if
three were
Alex would have
bad.
spoken up for something.
All right. Anyway, folks, we're gonna end now here, but we're just ending gaming here in the studio. We'll be back tomorrow morning, but we have several top 10 lists, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all here live in the studio tomorrow. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Alex Marks.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm going to Hard Work Island, Roy Kennedy.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
Pleasure Island. See you all later.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Dice Tower for another Top 10 of 2022. I am Camilla Cleghorn, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 themes of 2022. Now, when I was thinking about this category, I kind of looked at this a couple different ways. I was looking for a really unique theme, something that I hadn't seen before, or really well integrated into the game, or a theme that maybe I've seen a lot, but handled from a different angle or a new perspective. So let's just jump right in here with the top 10 themes of 2022. At number 10, we have wormholes. Now, wormholes is set in space, a theme we've seen a couple times in the board gaming, but in wormholes, what I found really unique and interesting about it is it specifically uses the wormholes as technology. So in this, you are captains of a spaceship and you're traveling over the galaxies and cosmoses, trying to deliver passengers and fulfill different contracts. And you're using these wormholes as a mode of transportation to bounce around the galaxy. So I think this idea of taking a wormhole, something that we know in space, and using it from a technology standpoint was really, really unique and well done. So number 10 is wormholes. And at number 9, we have the wolves. Now you might say, wait, this is nature. I've seen it before. And you'd be right. Nature is really hot right now as a theme in general. But what I like about the wolves is I feel like it really focuses on one part of nature. And in the wolves, you are part of a wolf pack, and you are charged with building up the pack, growing your pack, increasing your influence, and just trying to be the strongest wolf pack at the end of the game. So I think that the wolves really stands out in a crowded space right now because of this, because it is very focused on this one element, not just of nature, but of wolves' personality and their kind of innate nature, and you get to kind of expand on that. So at number 9, the wolves. And sitting at number 8, we have Feed the Kraken, a social deduction game. Now, in Feed the Kraken, what I really like about this theme is it brings in a couple different aspects to it. Feed the Kraken, you're thinking that it's going to have pirates, of course, right? Which it does. But it also has sailors in there who are really loyal, and they're trying to guide the ship safely back to harbor. And then you have the pirates who are on their own agenda. And then you have cultists as well, and those cultists are trying to summon the Kraken up for their own nefarious purposes. So I really think that this theme is a marriage of a couple different things. There's that expected piracy and in the sea and maybe fighting a big beast, but to see that coupled with sailors as well as the Kraken, kind of get a little bit of that fantasy in there and a little piracy, it really blends those nicely together for a unique niche within this theme. So my number 8 is Feed the Kraken. At number 7, we have Townsfolk Tussle. Now, in Townsfolk Tussle, you are playing as citizens whose sheriff has recently passed away, and so you don't have anyone to lead you, and unfortunately, you're being attacked by ruffians. So these ruffians are coming in and trying to cause all kinds of problems, trying to take over the town or just cause mayhem in general, just muddy things up. So you, the townsfolk, the citizens, are banding together. You're trying to build different weapons, exploring the town, and trying to use your creativity as much as you can to overcome these ruffians, which there's like 3 or 4 droves that just keep coming in. This is really unique because it is a cooperative game, but ultimately you want to be the best citizen possible so that maybe you can vie for sheriff at the end of the game. But I think it's really unique in that you see this town kind of come together, and it puts you in this theme of kind of the Steamboat Willie, I think is what a lot of people are going to compare it to. So it's something that we have that familiarity with it, growing up watching those shows or reading those comics, things like that. We have that familiarity with it, but you really are immersed in it, and it brings it to life in a really unique way. So my number 7 for unique themes is Townsfolk Tussle. At number 6, we have Terracotta Army. So Terracotta Army is a really fascinating theme to me because it has such connection to the real world. These are events that did happen, in fact, and we have evidence of. So this is going to take place right after the emperor has died, and you are one of the artisans or the craftsmen who has been hired to construct this Terracotta Army to guard the emperor's tomb. So through it, you're going to be going through and gaining influence and victory points and such in order to assemble this Terracotta Army. And I think, again, it's just such a good implementation of part of our history, that we can see and that we've studied and that we know about, and now we can see it in a board game in life, and you're part of that history. I think it's a really rich theme brought to life well in this game. Number 6, Terracotta Army. And at number 5, we have Come Together. Come Together is set in the late 1960s when there was all kinds of music festivals and love, peace, rah, rah, ree, right? So Come Together is going to be set during this time, and you are putting together a music festival. So you're going through and you're having to decide and manage your different stages, your artists, your camps, trying to gain publicity in order to entice people to come to yours. And it's just a really fascinating time and life that is brought into a board game here. It's really relatable. It's very fun. And really, I think underused. There's not a lot of music games that you can point people to. So I think it's an underutilized whole theme in general. And then specifically putting you into the shoes of somebody trying to bring this music festival to life is very fresh. So my number 5 is Come Together. And at number 4, we have woodcraft. Now, I really enjoy woodworking. I really just enjoy crafting in general. I find it fascinating. Again, I'm not good at it, but I just find it fascinating. I think there's something to be said about working with your hands and seeing that final project or product, that's just really empowering, right? And so when I saw this woodcraft game, I was really intrigued by it, that it's like, wow, you can play as that. And in this game, you're playing as wood elves who are in woodcrafting or woodworking, I guess, and you're each trying to make the best shop. You're hiring different workers. You're trying to produce different products in order to fulfill contracts. But really what I think makes this theme shine in this is this aspect of you have different kinds of woods and you need to maximally use those in order to fulfill the contract. So you might have to take a piece of wood and cut it up into 2 smaller pieces. Or you might have to take 2 pieces and glue them together in order to make a specialty piece that you need. And so it has these elements of the actual woodworking where you're combining and cutting down, you're sawing and you're gluing through it. And it just feels, again, I used this word before and here it is again, very fresh. You're not actually in your backyard with the saw, but you can still see the product of that in this. So my number 4 is woodcraft. And at number 3, we have another music game. Number 3, we're going to have Lacrimosa. In Lacrimosa, you are a patron of Mozart who has passed away. And so in Lacrimosa, you are trying to, as his patron, really have this last piece of music that you want to get out there and have it earn as much money as possible. But you're playing this in 2 different, I guess, kind of eras kind of almost, or 2 different phases where you're playing the present where he's already passed away and you're trying to get this piece of music, get the publicity behind it and get it out to have it make the most money for you. But also you're playing in the past when you were still becoming and building that relationship with Mozart. So it's really interesting to see those 2, the dynamics of that. During it, as you played in the past, you're trying to build that up and go up those tracks in order to get the most influence with him and be the highest patron. But then also in the present, once he's passed away, to get this new piece of music out there so that you can ultimately get the most money, the most influence, and be the most influential patron of Mozart. So it's a really fascinating theme. Again, like I said earlier, with Come Together, not a lot of music themed games that are, I think, done well in it. And these are 2 very, very different ones. I think Lacrimosa, what it does well is really pushes that envelope of playing the past and also the present with Mozart, something that we're all familiar with, and really kind of seeing kind of the background, I guess, a little bit of what happens behind the scenes of these patrons of the artists of old, composers of old. So my number 3 is Lacrimosa. And at number 2, we have Skate Summer. Skate Summer, I was apprehensive when I heard about this game, but then I saw it and I was like, it is so cool. There's sports games and board games are just one of those things that are really hard to nail. But I think Skate Summer is absolutely fantastic, and they really knew what they were doing, finding this little niche, not just a sports game, but skateboarding. How relatable is that? We all know somebody who, whether it's a kid, I know it's my kid, who's into skateboarding, or if it's a friend, or we just kind of grew up with it, right? If you're a 90s baby like me. But I think that Skate Summer really gives you that feel of being on a skateboard while you're trying to balance and you're seeing all the different tricks that you can go through. If you played video games, maybe it's not actually skateboarding, but you played some of the old Tony Hawk video games. It has that relatability as well. So this is a very unique theme that fits well into board gaming because we have that connection to it. And you really see that come through. It's very well integrated into the game as well, where it's hard to tell in this game if the theme came first or did the mechanisms come first. And that's a unique that's a unique and difficult thing to do in board games. So I think that this game really does well and shines, not only as a board game, but also in the sports arena of board games, and really shows that the 2 can work well together. So I think it scratches a lot of itches and brings up a lot of nostalgic memories, but also brings people into it. So very, very well integrated theme. At my number 2 is Skate Summer. And at number 1 for the best themes of 2022, according to me, is Monsters on Board. Now, Monsters on Board, in this game, you are a monster who is going to throw a big monster bash. Monster mash? I don't know. Is Monster Mash the name of the song for the Monster Bash? I'm not really sure. Let me know. But in either case, you are trying to throw a party for other monsters, but in order to do so, you need monster juice. So you have your little minions and you're sending them out into the town to cause all kinds of havoc and collect this monster juice, ultimately to fuel your party. And you have these different people that are coming in that are going to bring you different benefits, and you're balancing a whole lot of things, but ultimately just trying to throw a big basher. So I think that this is just absolutely unique. When I first saw this theme, when I first saw the art, when I first saw the mechanisms, it's so well thought out, and it's so unique and just fresh. A lot of the games I talked about, I said it pulls at that familiarity. This one isn't. You really feel like you're being exposed to a new perspective of something. And it really kind of grabs and pulls you into this world and this different perspective of a Halloween party. But oh wait, we're the monsters. It has a very, very unique feel to it. I think the artwork is gorgeous, which really sells this theme as well, which kind of really elevates it and puts you into this atmosphere. So my number one, the best theme for 2022, I would absolutely say one of the most unique themes of 2022 is Monsters on Board. And there you have it. That's the top 10 themes of board gaming for 2022. Some of them very unique, some of them new takes on things that we've already seen before or just very well implemented. And just that, and then that right there as well. Some of them are just really well implemented themes into board games that really kind of elevate the game. So, which ones did I miss? Let me know down below. And until then, I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our series of top 10 lists from 2020, and today I'm talking about art. Now, a couple things. First of all, art is completely subjective. This is just art in games that I really liked. So, it's going to be, this is one of the lists that you'll never come to any real good consensus on, everyone says this is the best, this is the worst, because artwork I might hate, you might like, and vice versa. But the other thing I want to say is, I'm going to try to say the names of the artists in these games, and many of their names are difficult to pronounce, and I like to apologize, but I like to call out the artists for these games. So here we go, my 10 favorite art in games from 2022. Number 10 is First Empires. First Empires, Jeremiah Fleury. He's done art before for Days of Wonder games, and you can see that in this style. I like the style, I like how he draws people. First Empires, which I thought was an okay game of rolling dice and then using the actions on those dice to move in the world. It's a very bright, colorful little game, which I do like how it looks, but I think the art stands out, making it number 10 on my list. Number 9 is Hidden Leaders, the artist Satoshi Matsuura. This has a distinct art style to it. Again, Hidden Leaders to me it's a fine game. It's okay, it's nice, but I don't know much more than that. You're just trying to have these different leaders, and there's a little bit of a tug of war moving on these tokens, and you're trying to have the tokens at the spots you need at the end of the game. But the art, there's tons of leaders in this game. They're all very different, and they all have this kind of, it's a little cartoony. Well, I mean, you can see what, as I'm talking about it, but I think it looks really good. Number 8. The Micho artwork here in Endless Winter. Now, the Micho is, when you see his artwork, you know it instantly. He's done most of the artwork for the Valeria games. He's done a lot of artwork for Shem Phillips, when you see Architects of the West Kingdom and stuff. I thought Endless Winter feels like he really got to do some cool stuff. It just feels different than his other stuff. Endless Winter, I don't think Endless Winter is a particularly thematic game, but if there is any theme in it, it's thanks to the art. Seeing the different animals that he drew and all the different tribes people that are in the game, really against that stark white snowy background, I just think is a really good, he did a really good job here. Number 7 is Shauna J.C. Tenney and Creature Comforts. Now, Kids Table Board Games is a company that I'm a big fan of. I like their stuff, and their games, while they're for kids, they're for families more than kids, but they always have that good look to them, and part of it is her artwork here, Creature Comforts, in which you're building up, comfortable houses for your different creatures, and it has nice components, but the art everywhere is just vibrant and friendly. I like friendly artwork, a game that says, hey, comforting, come in, spend some time with me. And when you do that with a game, I'm going to tend to like it. Number 6, we have 3 artists here, Kate Avery, Holly Exley, and Dan May. Dan May's a great artist. Dog Park. I like dogs, so I'm tending to like this artwork anyway. Every dog card in this game is different, and they all have different artwork, and it's all gorgeous. Art of Dogs, I think there should be more games with dog artwork in them, but I think the whole game, the whole production, all the art everywhere looks good, but the dogs is where it really shines, and that's why it's on my list at number 6. Number 5 is a crossover with my production list that I did yesterday. Here the artists are Stephen Lewis, Tony Meyer, and Rachel Rusk, and the game is Townsfolk Tussle. Now, I like Townsfolk Tussle, the miniatures. I like the whole production. That's why it was on my production list. But I'm telling you, the shining star here is the art. I'm a big fan of this old-timey-wimey 1920s, 1930s art, Cuphead-style art. And Townsfolk Tussle, I laugh at every picture of the bad guys, of the good guys, of all the different weapons that are in the game. It's just fantastic across the board. I love it. It really brings the theme to life in this game. It's jovial. It's brutal, but funny at the same time. Just very joyful. Townsfolk Tussle, my number 5. Number 4, the artist here is Sandra Tang, and the game is Flamecraft. Now, there's going to be some people argue that Flamecraft is popular only because of its art. I disagree. I think Flamecraft's a great game, but who can deny that the little cute dragons that permeate this game inside and out are not fantastic? They are wonderful. Delicious little dragons. And then, and this game comes with a bunch of shops, and each shop shows dragons doing something, and each of them is different, and each of them could be a painting. I know this because they did a promo, one of them, the Spice Tower for us, and I have that up on my wall here in the studio. I like it that much. I think this artwork is just tremendous. It definitely attributes to the success of the game. It's not the only reason the game is successful, but man, it's fantastic art. Number 3, we have Damian Mamoliti and Manning Tremblay, and this is for Marvel Dice Throne. So Dice Throne has some really great art in it. The same artist, actually. And I'll come back to that because I think it's fascinating. And so I've always liked that. This cartoony, modern cartoony superhero style, in a sense. Then Marvel, they got the Marvel license to make Dice Throne with Marvel, and they were allowed to use the same artist to do it, which is 2 things. 1, it fits right in with the rest of the Dice Throne universe, but secondly, I want these artists to do Marvel comics. That's how much I like the art in this. It's really good. I'm a big Marvel fan, but there's a lot of Marvel art out there, and there's certain comics I've read of Marvel, and I'm like, oh, I hate the art. This I don't hate. I think it's some of the best Marvel art I've ever seen. Number 2 is my favorite artist, actually, Vincent Dutrait, and this is Tenpenny Parks. Now, of course, part of Tenpenny Parks is I love the artist, and I love the theme, amusement parks. And in this game, you're building an amusement park, and there's all kinds of rides, and each of these rides is lovingly illustrated by Vincent Dutrait. That just looks gorgeous. The card artwork, the box is amazing, the boards, the tiles, the rides, it just all comes together. The game itself is fun, but definitely it's the artwork that's the star, to me, of Tenpenny Parks. And then finally, my favorite art from this year is David Ardila and Matahos Gebrselassie. Again, I apologize if I'm messing up the names here, but this is for 3,000 Scoundrels. So this game here, which is a cool game, that it's a Western game set where these futuristic things like cell phone stuff are showing up in this Western world, and you're running around grabbing them, and you're making 3,000 Scoundrels by taking these cards, and you put a card in, and then you have an overlay for that card, and I believe it's 50 overlays and 60 cards, or 60 overlays and 50 cards, doesn't matter, but it makes 3,000 different Scoundrels. That's pretty cool in of itself, but to have all these cards work together, this is one of my favorite box covers ever in the history of board game box covers. But I also just like the Western art in this game a lot. Again, this is another one where I think the game is fine. I think the game could have been better. It's not a bad game, it's a decent game, but I wish it would have been better. But I'm telling you, the art is unbelievable. This Unexpected Games, the company that made this, they know how to pick their artists. I think their artists are just great across the board. But this here is my favorite art from the year. So there you go. Those are my favorite art games from 2022. I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks for watching.
Hey everyone, Chris here. I'm going to be taking a look at my top 10 favorite games for young families from 2022. This is a list that I enjoy doing because I have a 7-year-old daughter who likes playing games with us, and she asks to play games frequently. So these aren't her favorite, these aren't my favorite, but these are my favorite that I would recommend for families that want to play games together. So I'm going to be starting off with my number 10 Micro Macro Full City, or Crime City Full House. This is the second of the Micro Macro games. There's even a third one that's out depending on what part of the world you're in. But these are all pretty much the same thing. They're a Where's Waldo, hunt for clues, and trying to solve crimes. They rate the cases from very young, family appropriate to middle. Middle range has a lot of like murder and stuff, and then the highest rated ones do have references to like drugs and other things like that that you might not want to include depending on the age of the kids in your family. You determine that yourself. But I love snooping around this map that's not a single point in time, but rather lots of different moments in time. You can follow a sane person from one area of the map, follow them along in their footsteps, see evidence around in different ways, solve these crimes as a family. It's really fun. The map is huge. It takes up the whole table. We have fun searching around, putting cubes different places to remember where all the different pieces of evidence are. One of my favorite crime-solving games, one of my family's favorites, so Micro Macro Crime City Full House. Number 9, Quacks & Co. This is the kids' version of the Quacks of Quedlinburg. I'm not a huge fan of the Quacks of Quedlinburg. I see why it's a good game. This one's very fun. This one I play a little bit more for my kid than for myself, but I do get caught up in the bag pull and in choosing to which of these chips do I want to spend my rubies on to upgrade my bag so that I can maybe have more explosive bursts of movement up this track, or maybe so that I can have special abilities, get more lucky clovers, things like that. I find myself interested in the engine building while playing a kids game. I think that this is a good kids game. It's definitely for, on the younger side of these things here, but it's fun enough that I even say, hey, let's play the longer side of the track because I want to get my bag stronger and has some really cool, sympathetic bag pulls and stuff going on here. Number 8, Outnumbered, Improbable Heroes. This is a math game. You roll some dice, use mathematical equations and functions to add or subtract or divide or multiply these dice to take out a horde of bad guy cards that are coming to destroy the city. You're superheroes using math. The power of your mind and knowledge is half the battle. I really like this one. It's a fun setting, bright artwork. It definitely appeals to kids, but it appeals to the part of me that was a middle schooler playing crypto, if you remember crypto cards, using math to solve these problems. But it's also a pretty good cooperative game where you can get bonus action cards and get bonuses that are really strong, variable player powers. I think that overall this is a really solid design from Genius Games Kids, and I really do recommend it. That's my number 8, Outnumbered. Number 7, Ticket to Ride Ghost Train. I like the Ticket to Ride series in general. I think that their kids line, the first Journeys series, is a pretty good approximation. Very, very simplified, very quick. This one has a fun, spooky theme for it. Great for Halloween, but great for any time of year, really. But also has a few little bonuses here and there that make it a bit more interesting than the other ones in the line. Drawing cards, placing out routes and stuff. If you have younger kids especially, that you want to, Ticket to Ride's not that hard of a game, but it is surprisingly difficult. And this is a great stepping stone into what I think is a great pillar of the gaming hobby, Ticket to Ride. That's why my number 7, Ticket to Ride Ghost Train. Number 6 is called Hercules from Meebo Games. Hercules is a game that is kind of like Outnumbered. You roll 2 dice and you use mathematical functions in order to try and move Hercules along and complete the 12 great arduous tasks, the Herculean tasks. This is quite abstracted, it's very mathy, but it's fun mathy. You're trying to collect bonuses by using different mathematical equations. You can collect cards that will allow you to have some dice manipulation, which I really enjoy. All of this in a bright, attractive, fun package, not too difficult. Your kid has to know multiplication, division, kind of like with Outnumbered. Outnumbered had a simplified version. This one does not, so your kid couldn't be like a 7-year-old. You'd have to know their multiplication and division. But I think this is a fun family game that I could see my daughter growing into because I really enjoy this one. Lots of set collection, rewarding you for trying to wait to complete the task in a certain order, or you could just keep completing them in a quick order to move your person along on this track very quickly, or wait for long bursts of movement I like it either way, so that's why my number 6 is Hercules. My number 5 is CoraQuest. This is a great dungeon crawling cooperative game. Very lucky, you're rolling dice and hitting, rats and ogres and stuff. Very fun dungeon crawl game made for kids, made by a kid. That kid is Dan Hughes, I'm calling him a child, and also his daughter Cora. This is a very fun cooperative game because the story is so just giggly funny. My daughter's always laughing about finding the hedgecorn or rescuing the lemon cheesecake and stuff. It's also, I'm recommending this not just because the game is fun, it's basic, very lucky, right? But it does evoke a lot of creativity. The idea of making your own characters on the CoraQuest website or going and writing your own scenarios using the cards they have. They encourage that from families, and I think that is so. It's not just a fun game to play, but it's a fun kind of activity to also have other hobbies you could do. Write stories with your kids and such. So I really like it. So number 5, CoraQuest. Number 4 is a little bit more on the gamery side of things. This is called My Shelfie, a Phil Walker Harding game where you are collecting these different things off the floor and dropping them into a 3D shelf. It looks like a Calyx shelf, and you're dropping them like it's Connect 4. You're also dropping it like it's hot, but what you're trying to do is make groups and clusters, but you're also trying to fulfill different little objectives here and there. This is a game that I feel is very rewarding, and has such a simple premise that kids can play it. I find that Phil Walker Harding games do have this type of thing, Sushi Go, a game that adults, grown-ups can play together and have a perfectly great time with, but also kids can play those games. And this is another one of those. My Shelfie has a great presence, has great production, and I really like it. So there you go. Number 4, My Shelfie. My number 3, Don't Llama Dice. This is a push your luck dice rolling game set in the Llamaverse by Rainer Knizia. I didn't love the original Llama, but this one I have so much fun with. So much fun. And the bright rainbow unicorns, of course, makes my daughter laugh. Not unicorns, llamas. They look like bright rainbow unicorn things. But anyway, my daughter loves the llamas and everything. There's on a few cards, right? But being able to roll those dice and get rid of cards in front of you feels so great. Busting hurts so much, but also when you can get rid of a 10-point chip by clearing out your hand, it feels so great. So there's a lot of fun to be had. I like silly, ridiculous push your luck games. This is one of them. Number 2, Museum Suspects, the other Phil Walker Harding game on this list. This is a really neat little deduction game where you have a grid and array of different suspects who might have stolen something from the museum. So how do you narrow down that information? Well, you look at different clues and then you make a bet on this grid. The thing is that you'll never be able to look at all the clues. And so you have to kind of feel out how other people are betting. Wait, no one's bet on an octopus in a while since someone looked at that card. I could either look at that card to see if it says, hey, no octopi are going to be the suspect, or I could just kind of intuit that and think, oh, okay, well, I know it can't be someone in a green shirt, so I'm going to guess non-octopus, not green shirt, and everyone is kind of feeding off of each other's information. There's a little bit of double bluffing back and forth. I really like this one. It's very fun, very approachable for kids, very fun artwork. So my number 2, Museum Suspects. And then lastly, number 1, and this is one I feel very confident saying my number 1, Unlock Kids. Unlock Kids is an incredibly fun adventure where it is based on Unlock, the escape room games. But this one has 6 cases in it, and they're all shorter. There's 2 per setting, and the settings are all very fun, carnivals and stuff. And I just love the logic and the puzzle solving. It's something that my kid could figure out a lot of, but then there were other things that it took me a little bit of thinking. I thought, oh, cool. Maybe I'll hint towards this and we could figure things out. It was such a fun family activity, such a fun game. One of my highest rated games actually from this last year. So Unlock Kids gets a huge shout out from me. It's a great game for young families. Hope that you found this list useful. Hope that you enjoy the rest of the Winter Spectacular.
Hello everyone, I've been invited on to give you my top 10 games of 2022. Now, there are plenty of releases even still to come, but there has been some spectacular games to come out this year. So let's kick it off. And my number 10 is, well, every year you need some kind of party game to get the group going towards, Christmas, holiday season. You want one of those family style games, and for me, one of the top games in that sort of category is Shoot for the Stars. Now, this is a game where everyone is trying to sort of outbid each other up to a certain limit. That limit being the answer to the question, because you don't want to overshoot that number. And you kind of... There's certain questions in there that you're just like, this cannot be a real thing. There's no way there's... one of the questions is how many toilets are there in the White House or whatever, and you have to get as close to that number. It just puts a nice new kind of fun spin on sort of a guessing trivia style game, because you're not just giving one answer, you have the opportunity to up and outbid the others until you think they've gone too far. That it just works. It's a nice, quick, fun game, and it's one of the better sort of trivia games out there, and that is Shoot for the Stars. My number 9 is Mindbug. Now, this tiny sort of box of cards is all you need for 2 players to play what I would describe, and probably incorrectly, almost as a Keyforge light experience. You are shuffling the deck of cards, you're dealing some cards out to each player, so there's some left over, so play another game and you've got more cards that are different to shuffle in. You've got these creatures, and the twist is that when you play a card, your opponent has the opportunity throughout the game to play one of their very limited supply of Mindbug cards. Effectively, you play a great card, and your opponent can just be like, I'm going to Mindbug that, and that's me playing it instead of you. It's a really good twist, because it means you actually hold on to your best cards and almost try and bluff your weaker cards. But then if your opponent knows you're trying to bluff weak cards, play a good card, and they're thinking, wow, they must have something they think's better. I'm not going to waste a Mindbug yet. And you've got that whole back and forwards of I'm trying to play these creatures to then deal the sort of damage to my opponent. It works really well, it's really quick, and it's such a small deck of cards. It's really portable as well, and it's, I think, maybe a little bit easier to get into than a Keyforge now, because there's so many less keywords. Anyway, that's my number 9, Mindbug. For my number 8, it is a game which I don't think has actually sort of got all that much buzz around it, whereas I think people still talk about the game that it's sort of based upon, Stratego, but no one's really talking about Tactiki, which I think it does exactly what Stratego does, of I've got these units, they all look the same from your direction, but from my direction they've got numbers on the back, and it has a nice circle of power, where 5 beats everything, like 4, 3, 2, but not the 1, because the 1 almost loops back around and is, you know, normally weakest. It can be beaten by almost everything, but it beats the 5. And it's got a nice twist on that sort of just power level, so it means that basic unit of the 1 isn't useless. It's actually very powerful indeed. And it's nice, short, sharp gameplay, because you've got 1 to 5 twice on your back line, and you're trying to get them across to block your opponent's back line or create a tower of your pieces on one of their backline spaces. And as you get these pieces across the board, you're using them up. You're not getting that back, which means if I've got one of my 5s over there, well, I've only got 1 left, and that's normally one of my best pieces to take yours off the board. And then you can respawn units on your turn back into your backline, but if your opponent's blocking that a lot, then you've only got limited respawn spaces. It's a really fun game where you are just trying to work your way slowly across with not the best pieces, because you're saving those to take bits that get past your lines, and it's very quick and takes what I love of Stratego, where it's, I don't know what that piece is, but I can try and work it out by what you're doing with it. You're coming at me, it's probably good, so maybe I can line up something better to take it out. And it just does it a little bit quicker, and it's got good production quality. Anyway, that is Tactiki. Next up, we have a game which feels very much like a roll and write that was taught to me at UK Games Expo, and when I managed to get a copy after that, and that is Millie Fury. I think that's roughly how it's pronounced. It feels like a roll and write with blinged out components, because you have effectively got drafting cards that allow you to then place these little sort of very nice plasticky transparent tiles or tokens out onto different positions on the board. You're trying to get so many keys in a row because that will chain together points. You're trying to move your ship along one track. You're trying to get sort of grids or connected areas of items in another area. You're trying to build a pyramid over here, and your opponents are all trying to get in on that and trying to score points. You can score your opponent's points, but hopefully you're doing that because you're going to score yourself more at the same time. And it's all based on the draft that's affecting this central board. It works really well at different player counts because you've got sort of at 2 it's a bit more cutthroat of I need to stop you on this. Whereas when there's 4 players, it's like, well, someone else can probably stop you or probably is going to get in your way there, so I can do my own bit over here. But then there's a bit more of a sort of a scrabble for certain areas of the board. It just works, and it's I like drafting, and I think that, you know, drafting and almost a roll and write. It's not a roll and write, it's a draft and place. But that works really well for me, and I think a lot of people have looked past this one, but it looks really nice when it hits the table. It certainly grabs attention, and it's quite good fun gameplay too. Love Letter is one of my favourite games, so let's get that out of the way. But this year, Star Wars Love Letter in form of Jabba's Palace was released. Now, yes, it is kind of a reskin, but it has gone down some different routes. It's got multiple scoring conditions in terms of each game you're going to be using a different sort of round end scenario. So in the basic Love Letter, at the end of a round, whoever has the highest number card wins. But potentially it's whoever has the highest of the 2 different factions. So 2 people could win a round and different things like that. The fact that there's cards that affect one faction or the other. There's even the Ragnar Beast card that you can play, and it doesn't matter if you've played that protection card that in the normal Love Letter, that Handmaiden, blocks you from everything. In this, even if you've played that equivalent card, you could still be out because it's not targeting you, it's targeting everyone equally. And different things like that. It's a little maybe harder to explain and teach because instead of just like 9 rolls of types of cards, the 2 sides have some cards that are similar, but maybe are a little different. So instead of just a guard, there's C-3PO, which allows you to guess someone's number, but if you're wrong, they guess back at you, which is not what a normal guard does. It just takes what Love Letter is really good at, put some spins on it, and to me, in a better way than, say, the Marvel one did a couple of years ago. And it does kind of feel Star Wars-y because you've got kind of good guys, bad guys, a little bit of a grey area there as well on some of them. So you've got these cool, iconic characters. And yeah, it does feel like you've got some of them do something only against a member of the other side. And it's a small, quick card game that's super portable, just like the original Love Letter. So that's what I like from Love Letter. It's got Star Wars, it's got some extras, it's got some twists, and that's why, yeah, you might say it's a bit of a reprint, but it is its own game, and that's why it deserves to be in the top of 2022. For those of you that love roll and writes, there was a brilliant one released this year in the form of Next Station London. Now this makes you sort of draw out underground metro style routes on your map, and it really does end up looking like some kind of underground subway route with different coloured routes sort of darting around the map, stopping at different locations, It's got like key locations that it wants you to link, and that kind of makes sense because the passengers want to go to those. You're going to get bonus points, which are a little complicated the first couple of times you play to score up easily, but it's got those for linking the different lines together, which is certainly not easy because as you're putting these routes out, you're drawing them, you're sort of stopping yourself in future rounds on a different line drawing across, because they can only cross at stations, not where the lines are drawn. And that means you draw a line, one of your sort of underground lines from top to bottom, you've cut your map almost in two unless you can get through one of those stations. So as the game goes on, you're making it harder for you to squeeze in your final line. And each round you're using a different colour pencil, and that's the different colour line you're using. So it's always the same 4 rounds, but those 4 rounds can be different lengths because it's based on how many... the round ends when a certain number of these pink cards, 5 of them, come out the deck. Well, they could be the first 5 cards and your line on that round could be really short. But it could be the very final card that comes out, and it's quite a sprawling route that you've had to sort of stretch out from each end and trying to get to the right shapes of stations. It just works really quickly. When it gets to the table, it's nice and easy to sort of logically look at because it looks like an underground map. And that's kind of hits a bit of theme, which roll and writes often seem to miss at. But anyway, that is Next Station London. My number 4 is a game with its time limit in the name, and that is Caesar Sees Rome in 20 minutes. So this comes hot off the tracks of the Blitzkrieg game, also in 20 minutes. And, well, it is an impressive sort of shrunken down little tactical skirmish almost. As you're pulling these tokens out of a bag, you're hiding them behind your screen, and then you're slowly placing them out onto locations, trying to sort of gain the control, because then you're getting those tokens. And I was just really impressed with this one, because it kind of shouldn't work, almost. The scale that they've gone for, the speed that you play, the luck of drawing from the bag. Certainly that last part, the luck of drawing from the bag, is something that normally I wouldn't like, but it just means that you've got limited options. These are the tokens that you can use. You've got a good token maybe not being pulled, but it's in your bag, so if you can just stretch the game out, at some point it will come out. It's a bit like when you've shuffled a deck, you know, in a deck builder, and you know your good card's coming, so you've just got to sort of wait and work out what you can do until that happens. And there's balances, because just because a token you perceive is good doesn't necessarily mean that your opponent can't work around it. And there's also ways for your opponent then to basically go, that one doesn't count. Oh, well, I was really trying to get that location, and they've swooped in because they've managed to do like a double turn and put some 2 tokens down, and all of a sudden you've just lost an important area of the battlefield that you've now got to work your way around. You know, maybe you've lost Rome. And I'm just impressed, I think, with this one, of how it manages to use different types of tokens, different strength tokens that are pulled randomly, and yet it never really feels, yeah, you can lose quite quickly or whatever, but it never feels too punishing, that luck, because the game length just keeps it that it's like, okay, that didn't quite work out for me, but shall we go again? And again, it's one of those games that it's hard to get to the table and just play one of, because it plays so quick. Even when you lose, you're like, oh, I could have done something different there. Let's go again and I'll get you this time. So that's why I think it's a really great game, and that is Caesar Sees Rome in 20 minutes. Dexterity games are hard to find some kind of innovation. They're often very similar, or there's not really many of them. There's only a handful of really good ones, and to me, Pathways is joining that group. So this is a game where you have got a board that's got holes in it, And that is the main crux of the game, because you're trying to flick your pieces across and score points by getting them into the back line where your opponent is just about flicking behind. So you're trying to get in their back line, whereas you're trying to stop them almost getting yours. And you're going to stop them by flicking discs part way and having them sort of block areas. But if it falls into the gaps, well, it starts creating these pathways, hence almost the name of the game, across the board. And you can try and flick across that pathway to get easier into the back line. Now, there are a couple of variations that allow you to score points in slightly different ways. There's sort of somewhat of trick shots that you can do when you flick and then you hit one and they both go in, that you sort of left there earlier. Probably not on purpose, but you've almost got it in, and you can try and just tap it in and go into one of the other holes at the same time. And it is this sort of developing gameplay as the game goes on. That board that was full of holes at the beginning has got all of these sort of filled in spaces that's making it easier to get across in certain pathways. It takes, it's named perfectly, because those pathways that are created open up opportunities as the game goes on, and it's just a really fun and quick one. It's never hit the table and not been, we've played a game, lift the board up, take the pieces back, we're going again. It's almost impossible to not play another round, and that's why Pathways makes my top 10. My number 2 probably just misses, because while it is one of my favourite series in board games, it's not the first, it's not the second, I don't think it's even the 5th or 6th, and that is the Unmatched series. Now, the releases this year, there's been some great ones. There's Marvel. Now, straight away, a lot of people are going to love those. But actually, I think for me, my favourite box of the year has to be the Battle of Legends Volume 2. Now, this might have come out in America a long time ago in the year, but it's only recently-ish come out in the UK. And the characters in it are just very interesting, because they've, first of all, a very cool map which has high ground. Yes, you can constantly shout the Obi-Wan line about having high ground because it adds to your attacks. And also, a lot of the characters have double attacks, which is something brand new to the Unmatched series, and actually all 4 characters in the box have them. It just twists the logic up of, if I don't defend against this, it might actually turn out to be good for me. A prime example is one of the characters, potentially my favourite of the main series of them, Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, because he has a card that when you play it, does 0 damage. Not very good in a game where you're trying to beat your opponent down by playing attack cards. But when he plays that, if you block it, he gets to do a second attack. He also has some other great cards. So it's just little things like that, or cards where it matters the number of defense that you play, because that's what's going to be coming at you again, and different things like that. It just makes you think about, what am I playing here? Do I really need to defend this? Is it worth it? Am I going to be shooting myself in the foot? And Unmatched as a whole is a fantastic game. It couldn't be my number 1 because it's not a brand new series game, but it is a brand new box with 4 brand new characters that are very different, feel very unique, mostly because of that sort of double attack chance. But then there's the character like Bloody Mary, who, if you have the right number of cards, can just always take an additional turn. Action each turn. That's super powerful if you can manage it. And maybe that's harder for new players because it means there's other extra bits for you to think about, but it's a lot of fun for a lot of Unmatched fans, that's for sure. But not my number 1 of the year. And my number 1 game. Now, there is one that stood out to me from the very first time I played it this year. I played it at UK Games Expo, picked it up, I got a sort of a copy there then and played it. And a lot of other people that I've played it with have then gone on to buy this game. It's a tile laying game where you build out and up Acropolis. Now in this, you've got relatively colourful tiles, and they represent the different districts. So it's like 3 hexagons joined together when you're taking one of those tiles from the market, and then you are trying to build them out and up to score points. So for instance, the blue ones, you want a huge blob of blue, that's the residential buildings. Whereas the barracks, you want them on the edges of your constructed city. Now, they're going to score you points based on those things. So if a red barracks is in the middle, it's not scoring. But if it's on the edge, it will score, and it will score the number of points times by the number of plazas stars you've got. So you've got to make sure that you've got some of those plaza stars to times up your red barracks, your yellow commercial areas, or whatever you're doing. And then it's how high up they are. So it takes some of the things from like number 7, number 9, whichever one it is, where, you know, it matters via points what level you're on. And I liked that aspect of it. But one thing that game sort of lacked was any theme, or the fact that building out, which is such fun in a tile placement game, building out is still important, because you need to build out to then cover up some of the white quarries that get you these cubes. You can spend them to skip things in the market, a little bit like Century Spice Road, where there's that market and you can pay to skip over ones, otherwise you have to take the free one. Again, a great choice there, and actually regardless of the player count, because of the way that market refills, at some points in the game you've got loads of choice and you could skip loads. A little bit later on, you've got maybe a choice of only 2 tiles, but when you take the last one, like one, there's one left, that's when it refills. So the person next to you gets that big plethora of options. Again though, you're going to have to pay to get down that line. So when you go and splurge all your cubes to get that perfect tile, you know, maybe you're getting that plaza that's got stars on it to give you some scoring. It's a really interesting game. It's even got like an advanced variant. Normally, that's the sort of thing that's like, okay, you've got a basic mode. Gamers, let's just play this sort of expert one and just sort of forget about the other. Actually, I'm predominantly playing just that normal mode, just because it's a light tile placement game where you've got choices and you're having to think where you're putting things. It doesn't necessarily need that extra level, but after a couple of games on a game night, you can then that third one be like, let's challenge ourselves a little bit more here. So it even sort of levels up with you and your experience. So absolutely phenomenal game. I really have enjoyed that one this year, and I think a lot of other people have too, actually. That's Acropolis. So that is my top 10. Now, I've not been able to play necessarily as many games as normal because me and my wife had a baby, so some game time has certainly been limited. But there's still been some great games out this year. There have also been some that I think have been relatively popular, I won't name them, that I just personally didn't enjoy. You know, let's not name and shame them right here. This was for celebrating 10 games that I enjoyed. But what did I miss? You know, what was your sort of top game of the year? Let us know in the comment section down below. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the content on the Dice Tower.
Ho, 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 and that, folks, means we are halfway done with the Winter Spectacular. Well, let's not be sad about the things that have happened. Let's be excited about the stuff we're going to see tomorrow. We're going to start with crowd surfing in the morning, taking a look at Kickstarter, GameFound, and backer kit projects that are ending in the next week or two. So let's see that's coming tomorrow morning, and we're going to be playing more games tomorrow and connected clues. Let me see. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8 more top 10s coming tomorrow. So Thanks for sticking around. I hope you have a great day, folks. I hope you're enjoying this. We'll see you tomorrow. But until then, I'm Tom Bass on behalf of the Dice Tower. Thanks for watching the Winter Spectacular.